So I've been working quite hard. Ha! Pat on the back. Gotta pat myself on the back for that. I'm also still a little bit jet lagged, which is rather annoying. I would have thought I'd gotten over it by today. I got back from Hong Kong like on Friday or something. So it's been almost a week. And I'm still waking up really early, like 5 a.m. So that's not ideal. But StarCraft, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll stay awake. Alright, we're doing allied colors. So, looks like we're going to be allying the Zerg. So that's good. We get to see where Sonic's allegiances lie here. Clearly a dirty Zerg. I actually don't know what race Sonic plays. Wait, Sonic has played in his, like, Team League things, right? I'm pretty sure I should know what race he is. I think he might actually be Zerg, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'm confusing him with Yoda, you know, because they're both awesome casters, and, you know, I don't understand what either of them are talking about because I don't speak their languages. So we are now a mist, by the way, in case you don't recognize the map, the starting positions, etc. This is actually the first time I have ever seen this map played. I assume these players have at least practiced a little bit on the map, but as far as I know, it has not been used in any other league. So this could well be the first, like, quote-unquote televised match. This isn't technically televised, I guess. It's streamed, but it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. It's a pretty crazy map, actually. It's a little bit like Outsider, a little bit like, well, Outsider, but two-player. It's got a whole bunch of crazy mineral things that you can jump over and jazz like that. This natural mineral in particular really concerns me from the Terran point of view, because as you can see, you can't actually go behind the minerals, and even if you could, it's all unbuildable ground back there, so I'm not exactly sure how Terran's supposed to defend their natural against meter harass. It seems quite hard. Okay, Epoxide confirming that Sonic does indeed play the disgusting race. Oh, and you might have noticed just there, by the way, as the SCV crossed the bridge, that middle bridge there is in fact line of sight blocking. I don't exactly know how the mechanic works because I don't think it's been used on any other map, at least any other Pro League map. But yeah, apparently if you stand there, you can't see anything, which seems bad. I don't know. It's just don't stay there for too long. I don't know how it works for air units. I assume it doesn't affect air units, in which case if, you know, like the Protoss army has an Alb with it, or the Zerg army has an Overlord, then it doesn't actually do anything. But maybe it does. Maybe it still affects vision on air units, which would be quite interesting. I think that would make more sense, otherwise it doesn't really do anything. Anyway, looks like Mong is going for a 1 Rax expand here. By the way, in case you are unfamiliar with the SOSPA scene, let me just inform you that these are two of the highest caliber players you will find. Killer is in fact undisputably the #1 Zerg in the SOSPA scene. I guess that basically means he's the best Zerg who still plays Brood War actively, right? I'm pretty sure that's what that means. He was #2 on the recently published Power Rank, Brood War Power Rank. And Mong, in fact, the Terran player, was #8, I believe. So, you know, he's no slouch either. He's got monstrously good TVZ. So overall, I expect this to be a very, very exciting best of 3. Hopefully a nice long one as well. And it looks like this scouting SCV is just chilling on the base. We are going to have a 2-hatch opening from Killer. He's almost certainly going 2-hatch mutant, and I think that makes a lot of sense given what I said earlier on about how difficult it is to defend your natural expansion against mutalist Crass. I think 2-hatch mutant is a fantastic idea on this map. So we'll just have to see what happens there. Looks like a second SCV is being sent over. Not 100% sure how useful this second SCV is, really. I mean, he already saw that it's a 2-hatch muta. Well, I guess it's sort of safety in case Killer tries some kind of crazy 2-hatch lurker instead, but I find that very unlikely for Killer to do something like that. And we can see he has, in fact, placed a Spire. But the SCV does see it as well, which at least confirms for Mong that that is what's going on here. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe he could have saved that SCV. He might still get out with it, you never know. No, he's going to go back just to scoot around there. Anyway, looks like some Zerglings gonna poke over here to the Terran base. Notice Mong actually hasn't even built any buildings at his natural. You know, normally when you want to expand, you build a bunker and a depot to sort of semi-wall yourself in. but I don't see any of these buildings here. Now, I think this is because of those 2 scouting SCVs that he sent. You know, just confirming that there's no crazy Zergling. In fact, that could very well have been what the second SCV was for, just to confirm there was no big wave of Zerglings incoming. Because that's a pretty common thing to do when you go 2-hatch, or even 3-hatch muta, really. And you know, by sending that SCV, he's actually saved himself the bunker money. And doesn't even have to put a depot at the front either. So that's quite nice. Meanwhile, third base being taken at the bottom right. I was actually curious where the Zerg would take the third. I actually would have thought Killer would take the top right third, which is much further away by ground, but only has a narrow ramp leading to it. Whereas this bottom right base that Killer's taken as his third actually has a wide ramp, so you can't defend it with just 2 lurkers. So I think, I mean, it makes more sense. Hold on, I should probably not talk anymore because Killer could just die right now, in which case it would just be completely useless. Okay, no, he's got it sunken up. Okay, whew! Man, could you imagine if I went on all this crazy analysis about like the next 20 minutes of the game and the game just ended right here? God, that's actually happened to me so many times. It's pretty sad. I don't know, I just like talking about stuff anyway, even if it makes no difference. Anyway, so this bottom right base, right? So you can't defend it with just 2 lurkers. However, when you're going 2-hatch muta, right, you're being super aggressive with the mutas anyway. So you don't necessarily need to rely on the lurker defense for a while. You can, if you just like super aggro, super you know, in the Terran's face, that pretty much defends your base for you. Also, another reason why I think this might be a better choice, well, not necessarily a better choice, but another thing going for this bottom right base is the fact that because it's closer, it's also easier to actually defend against like drops behind the mineral line. Because I was also thinking, you know, muta harass behind the natural mineral line is annoying, but by the same vein, Terrans could potentially later on in the game use dropships and drop marines behind the minerals, in which case like Zerglings can't even reach them. So, you know, that could be quite interesting. Anyway, Killer doing a bit of muta harass here. It doesn't look like he's being overly effective so far. He's killed a couple of marines, lost to muta, all that good jazz. Not that he has gone 2-hatch muta, so it would be quite, well, he sort of needs to do at least a little bit more damage than he's done so far. I mean, yes, he has gotten a third base. Yes, he is transitioning out, but his economy is still not overly awesome. And okay, I thought that these minerals blocked completely, but apparently Mist has been updated since the version that I saw in the Team Liquid preview article. So apparently that third base does not suffer the problems of getting dropped behind the minerals. Originally, that went completely up and down. If that makes sense. It was like a completely vertical block. I guess those are just like 3 sets of 2 stacked minerals now. I assume that's what it is. It doesn't make sense to have a 3 mineral patch base at all. So I'm just going to go with that. Anyway, Mong's Marine group is trying to push over here to the bottom right. They're having a little bit of difficult time, as you can see, although the mutas have actually gone all the way to the north side now, so Killer's got to pull back. He doesn't actually have anything defending that third base, so he really needs the mutas and lings to do it. It looks like he might just try and gather up enough lings on the ground and mutas in the air to just kill this base completely, although it looks like he's going to find some marines without any medics. No, he's going to have to fly back. Man, Killer seems to be in a bit of trouble right now. He doesn't actually seem to have the muta count he needs to actually engage these units, so he's just going to lose his third base outright. Got a bit of vanishing Zerglings going on, but man, this is horrible for Killer. I guess he just really didn't do it in nearly enough with those initial mutas. Now he's going in and committing. I think he might barely have enough to clean this up, but it's going to cost him a lot of mutas. You can see Mong targeting down the mutalisks. It looks like Killer will actually take this down. In fact, not the end of the world. Wow. Apparently I just completely overreacted because, you know, there were marines actually in the base shooting stuff, but they all got cleaned up. So that's that. Huh. Alright, well, you know, I guess that's why Killer is the best Zerg on Afrika, and I guess I'm not. Not even close. So, well, that was fine. Ah, these Zergs, man. Hey, in my defense, that hatchery is bleeding. Okay? Shit, man, if I was bleeding as much as that hatchery, I'd be freaking out, so boom. Man, that was a pretty cool face shot though, wasn't it? They're like all in a studio, so Sonic's gone like all out here. He's got like a whole actual studio things. They got booths and stuff. They got, you know, live audience. I don't know if you guys caught the shots earlier on in the stream, but it looks pretty packed there, which is really nice to see. Always good to see there's still plenty of Brewer fans. Looks like the engineering base taking a lot of heat, actually. That is upgrading something, presumably +1 attack, which I think should be close to finished, actually. So if that goes down, that would be quite horrible. At the very least, Mong needs to repair it until his upgrade finishes. Oh, it looks like it stopped blinking. Okay, so I think I finished. Yeah, that was +1 attack. So as I said, it was just basically almost done. Just needs to repair it for a little bit longer. So now Mong is the one who looks a little bit in trouble because he lost a lot of Marines in that attack on the 3rd, and now his army, his ground army, looks really small. And you know, Killer's mining away happily on his 3 bases. Look at all that mutiling. I mean, that is going to easily just wipe the floor with these medic Marines. Oh man, those Marines need to go back. Basically, Mong kind of needs to stand in his natural choke point. He can't actually move out on the map right now. There's just way too much stuff. But if he does stay in his natural for too long, on the other hand, and Killer just gets the hive, then he's equally screwed. So it's kind of a tricky position here. Oh man, and here we go. Here's going to be the big engagement. A lot of links coming in on the ground. Mong targeting down Mutalisks. You can see the Marines focusing them down. Looks like he grabs a few of the Mutas, but the rest of the ground forces are completely wiped out, and still plenty of Mutas left over in the air. Mong is just getting absolutely slaughtered right now. After that initial push out to the 3rd, he has been on the back foot ever since. And the funny thing is that despite all the stuff I was talking about earlier on with the natural mineral lines, Killer has barely harassed the natural the SCVs at natural at all. He's just been going after the Marine groups, and it's been working out really nicely. By the way, I just want to point out, just take a look at that minimap. Look at how awesome Killer's vision is. Just that coverage of the minimap is just so sweet. I love seeing that, actually. It's one of my favorite things to see for Zerg. Actually, both in Brutal and in StarCraft 2, where you can just get such amazing map vision, map coverage. It's like, you know, basically got map hacks on. It is really, really cool to see. It's very, very Zergy. And interestingly, still no indication of a hive yet. Looks like Killer's content to just, you know, keep pumping out units. Mass up a decent lurker army. If you have a significant lurker ling army with, you know, some leftover mutas from your initial harassment, you can sort of take a Terran head on for a while anyway. So you don't necessarily absolutely need to rush for hive, even though that's what Zergs tend to do. Is he shooting his comsat? He should have been shooting his depot. It might have misclicked and shot his comsat or something. I'm not really sure. He's definitely shooting one of his own buildings. Anyway, that second eBay is not going to go up. That first eBay might actually die. Looks like Mong's sort of ignoring it for the time being, just pushing out, getting rid of these lurkers. Looks like he's going to grab a couple of them. But Killer still with a very significant ground army. Those 3 siege tanks could actually be quite key here. If Mong can somehow get a decent-ish position, because the middle of the map isn't that open. There's a lot of lots of bridges and paths all over the place, but not too many areas where he can get a great flank off. Although it looks like he's trying to find one right here. He's going upwards, but you can see there's not you can't really get a great position to a flank. He kind of has to attack upwards here into the Terran army. And here we go. If Mong can hold this, that would be absolutely crucial here. He's doing a good job, and it looks like Mong is going to hold the position. Although it looks like he's going to lose his science vessels, unfortunately. So that attack does not go Killer's way. As I said, you know, just kind of had to attack on one front rather than get the big surround that he certainly could have. If this was like in the middle of Fighting Spirit, he definitely could have got a bigger angle. But as it was, Mong barely holds on. But barely holding on at this point in the game doesn't really mean much anyway, because Killer is just going to overwhelm him in the long run. Mong desperately is trying to get across the map before the Defilers get out, before the Dark Swarm gets out. But as you can see, Killer is not going to let that happen. Looks like he's got part of his army up here. There seems like a decent number of units at the south side as well. Not sure exactly what units are over there. But looks like Mong gathering up again. Trying to work up the courage to actually move out again. He's probably just shitting his pants right now. I certainly would be. Anyway, he's got a good number of siege tanks, actually. You know, it's interesting. You don't often see really high-level Korean Terrans continue to pump siege tanks going into the mid-late game TVZ. Oftentimes they favor just the mass bio and making more science vessels, like 2-point science vessels instead. But making more siege tanks here, I think, is actually helping Mong out against this big ground army. And here we go. Could have another bit of an engagement. No, looks like Killer does not like this angle, and I think he's correct. And oh, looks like he gets his Mutaclub irradiated. Wow, good split. Half of them are out. The other half not quite out yet. Oh man, we're looking at an SCV instead of the Mutasplit. I assume that means Killer got rid of it anyway, and nothing overly bad happened. Those mutas, by the way, you know, even though the muta harass phase of the game is essentially over, they're still useful, actually primarily as tanking units. Muta DPS isn't that high, but they have a decent amount of HP, and they have, I believe, base 1 armor. So you just use them kind of to tank for your lurkers and legs. Anyway, woo! Oh, and also you can use them to snipe dropships, in fact, and defend against drops, because... well, that's a pretty common thing to do for the Terran, to drop while making his move at the front. And it looks like Killer actually getting a bit distracted, not having his units in good positions. And there we go, the drop's in the main base. It looks like Killer focused most of his army, bringing back all the mutiling to deal with the drop. He does absolutely annihilate the drop, but losing some more lurkers at the front, though. I'm not sure if he needed to bring everything back like that, but it looks like there is a Defiler out right now. I don't know if it has consumed yet. It doesn't look like it has, and now the tanks are bearing down on the natural here. Mong actually, despite all of Killer's stuff, has somehow managed to get all the way across here. One of the Defilers coming up from the third base does get taken down here. Mong putting on the pressure. I feel like Killer will have consume in time, though. I really don't think that this push is going to be able to kill this natural before Consume is done, but it's going to be close. The tanks are already in range of the hatchery here. There's Consume right in the nick of time, and here's the big move out by Killer. The tanks just came into siege, but that was the absolute wrong timing. He needs to abandon those first two tanks. Maybe he can save the back two. No, he's not even going to try. He's going to leave those for the Zerglings to just devour while the Marines try and get away, but there's a flank in the back. One vessel goes down. Two vessels going to go down. Mong looks like is actually going to lose almost the entire attacking force here. Man, what an awesome back and forth game. Mong again managing to push. Oh my god, he's actually run into the 30 and the Marines are not dead yet. Oh man, I wrote these Marines off, but apparently Killer, despite cleaning up the force, had basically nothing left to clean these up. The lurkers are barring, but the Marines can't be microed backwards. All the mutants are dead, but Mong's not paying attention. Mong needs to pay attention. Oh man, he could have done so much more damage if he was microing these Marines. Oh man, wasted opportunity for Mong, but he did clean up all of the Mutalisks and a lot of the Zerglings, and now he's moving out with another force here. Mong, who's looking like he was in quite a bit of trouble, you know, just a few minutes ago, is looking in much better shape right now. However, Killer does have his hive tech up. So, you know, if he makes good use of those Defilers, it's still going to be quite tricky. And here we go. There's a Defiler coming in. Gonna throw down those Dark Swarms to help those Lurkers. Although the Dark Swarms are not in great position, the third base could still be vulnerable if the Marines just scoot around the bottom side here. Yeah, it looks like Mong is finding an opening. He's trying to get in. Gonna lose another vessel here. Killer really on top of the vessel sniping this game. But what an awesome game this is. Now, SCVs are actually transferring over to the left side, the bottom left base there. Again, I thought that... oh, no, never mind. No, that's right. I was going to say I thought that was cut off, but actually, no, it's not. I remember now. Apologies. Again, this is my first time ever commentating a game on this map, so still trying to get my bearings. Anyway, oh, looks like one hatchery going to fall. Boom. There it goes. The second hatchery, though, will allow Killer to continue mining there. So that's the hatchery snipe is not like actually killing a base. Although with the Marine standing in the corner there, he could actually kill the gas, which is actually going to be important. Meanwhile, another drop is moving out here, and yes, he actually does kill the gas. That's actually probably more important than killing the hatchery, believe it or not, because, you know, if the gas had survived, even if the hatchery died, he could have just mined to the slightly further away hatchery, just sent an extra drone there. Meanwhile, though, oh man, nothing in the main base. The dropship's coming in here, and Killer, where's his stuff? Where's the army? You know, these Lurker Dark Swarm defenses are really, really strong, but they're a little bit immobile here. You just defend key points on the map. You can't defend a big open area like this you have in the main. Oh my god, the Defiler Man goes down. Spawning Pool goes down. What else is going to go? The Spire is now being targeted. That's certainly going to go down. Very little HP on that building. And here we go. Lurker Ling, Defiler finally coming back in here. But Mong going to be able to micro. Unfortunately for Mong, it looks like he forgot to bring medics here. That could prove key in helping Killer clean this up here, though. That's really going to basically going to limit the number of stims that Mong can use, and he might have actually just used them all up already. Yeah, it doesn't look like he can stim anymore. All of his HP has run out, so that's a bit foolish, but Killer, GG's! Killer can't defend it any longer. Oh my god, lost all of his tech buildings. And Killer, who I thought was in complete control in the mid-game with a huge Lurker-Ling Muta army, has dropped the first game to Mong here. Wow. If Mong can make it through Killer to the winner's match, he will almost certainly make it out of the group here. I mean, wow. Killer Mong, these guys are the strongest in the group. Make no mistake about it. You know, power rank isn't necessarily the best best measure of player skill, but you know, Zero and Brittany didn't even get a mention, and Killer's number 2 and Mong's number 8, and Mong obviously very, very strong TVZ. I mean, it was basically between these two players to see who would get first in the group.